Hey guys, we hope you are all well. Are you good, babes?
Yeah, I'm all good, Baba.
Yes, she's gonna ask me if I'm okay.
Are you okay?
No, no. Okay. Yep, pregnancy, morning sickness. This is it. It's not great, but hey, it is what it is. So, guys, we kept getting asked loads if we would do a pregnancy Q&A. So, what we actually did, I don't know if you follow us on Instagram. If you don't, make sure you go and do it. But we put out on one of our stories, if you have any questions, then please direct message us with any questions that you had. And we got loads of questions, which is just fantastic. Thank you so much for all of your questions. So much so that unfortunately, we probably can't get through all of them. But we've got quite a few, I would say,
quite a few.
that we're going to try and get through now. So this is our pregnancy Q&A. Let's get right into it.
The Grimwade Family actually showing real life, despite social media feeding us all that real hype. We just some real guys trying to give some high definition to reality. Family acrobatically juggling life, smothered in cries to avoid eternal casualty trust. It ain't easy, but teamwork make the dream work. It's me, Ella, Hezzy, Hosanna, Harper and Hallie, and I ain't forget that has a ride join the family.
Okay, so the first question is, what
it's a good one. It's one that's right on the money.
Topic, yeah. What do you use for nausea? I always find it hard to say that word.
Nausea.
Nausea?
Yeah.
How are you supposed
I
to
would
say?
say put it in the comment section below.
But you can't put pronunciation, can you?
Anyway.
When I'm feeling nauseous, it's just not great. I can't say that I have a remedy, a complete remedy for it. If you're interested in how I'm feeling this pregnancy, so far I've found that if I've eaten food, brushing my teeth afterwards often helps, because what often makes you feel more sick is when you're getting all those mad flavours in your mouth and then you're smelling other stuff. Well, that's for me what happens.
I don't pity you, but like, no, I don't envy you, sorry.
Yes, you don't pity me.
Sorry, I do pity you. Take it back.
So yeah, that's what I find helps, brushing my teeth. Or like, I've had a couple of packs of mints recently. That got me through church the other day, just sucking on some
babe,
mints.
sorry to cut you, but even now I'm conscious of how...
Trying to talk in that
direction.
direction.
I'm trying to talk this way, because it just, sometimes in pregnancy we just don't match up, do we?
Yeah, it can get a lot. There's a particular smell that usually comes that hasn't actually come yet from Tim, which is great, so hopefully it won't come this time. But yeah, basically at the minute it's like having something minty. I haven't actually started on peppermint tea yet, but maybe that will help. I know in previous pregnancy sometimes it was crunching on the ice, or I know with Hezzy's pregnancy, to start off with, I started on the ginger, but then I had too much of it and the ginger itself made me feel sick. Also, in some pregnancies, sucking on a lemon or a lime has helped, just to counteract any of the nasty flavours that were in my mouth, just to help me stop feeling so sick. So that is one thing.
Cool.
Number
2.
Shorter.
No, it's all good. It's all good. They want to know.
Second question. Just wondered why you both chose to tell everyone your news so early on.
Now, this is one, obviously a pregnancy Q&A I usually leave up to my lovely wife. However, I feel I can answer this if that's all right, Baba.
That's fine. Go ahead.
So basically, the reason we chose to announce that we were pregnant at only 6 weeks or 5-6 weeks is because basically on our channel and in our lives in general, we pride ourselves on being real and being honest, and at the end of the day we could hold out to 12 weeks, you know, to check that
safe,
it's the safe zone or whatever, to check that everything goes well. But you know what, you wouldn't know that we've experienced hardship or joy, either way, depending on what happens, obviously. So we've come straight out and said, look, we're pregnant, because we trust God that whatever does happen happens for a reason.
And he'll take us through it either
exactly way. Exactly that. So we wanted to show you guys, because we feel we can aid you guys more, especially, like, we're not stupid. We have, 128,000 now. Thank you for all the new subscribers. Welcome to the Grimwade Gang. But we have people watching and people messaging us saying you're an inspiration, you're inspiring. Well, we would like to inspire in an honest and genuine way, and that is the way we would do it. So that is why we told you as soon as we knew, you know, and then you'll be able to hold us accountable if something did or didn't go wrong, you know, and we can say, you know, now we're sad because this happened and this is how we're getting through it, or we're so happy because this happened, you know what I mean? And you can live real with us. So we hope that helps.
Question number 3. Is the new baby's name going to begin with an H? You have to wait and find out. You have to wait and see.
Gonna wait and see, I'm afraid, on that one.
Question number 4. What are your pregnancy cravings? Okay.
Just before we go on to that one, you guys tell us what you think if the baby's name's gonna start with a H or not.
Yeah, there you go.
We might just throw it off and do a Z.
What are your pregnancy cravings? Okay, right. So for lunch today, I fancied brown rice and baked beans. Random, I know, but yeah, that's what I fancied. I've kind of feel like I've gone off meat this pregnancy. In some of my previous pregnancies, I really wanted red meat, like red meat and salad or vegetables with red meat. I wasn't really on the carbs so much wanting them because they used to just make my chest feel like clogged up, like I was getting heartburn. But the red meat in previous pregnancies I craved. With Hezzy's pregnancy, I craved Fanta from McDonald's in Stratford.
So not just a Fanta from McDonald's, like a Fanta from a certain McDonald's
with loads of ice. But I know why it was. It was because their one was always really fizzy and it was fresh, and I liked that one. But yeah, so that so far this pregnancy, I'll say it's just been that really. So no meat and yeah.
There you
brown
go.
rice and baked beans. Anyway,
number 6.
Number 5.
Oh, sorry, I'm skipping ahead.
Hold on. Would you prefer a boy or a girl, and why? Right, shall I answer or you answer?
I don't mind. Do you want me to?
I'll answer.
Go on then, babe.
So basically, seeing as we obviously had Hezzy first, then we had 3 girls, and then, you know, we really wanted another boy so Hezzy could have a brother. We got Hazariah and we felt so blessed. This time round, you know, we were a bit like, hey, we're pregnant again. Okay, cool, here we go again. But we weren't thinking, okay, I want a boy or I want a girl. So of course it's going to be one or the other.
Yes, generally speaking.
I haven't really got a preference. Like, I'm just like, okay, healthy baby. But yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to, a newborn. I don't have a preference really. So I'm kind of like, hey, either one, Lord.
Number 6.
Right, number 6 now, there you go.
I'm right now, number 6.
What thoughts went through both of your heads the moment you found out? Right, you go first.
Okay, I was over the moon and a little shocked. Obviously we knew it possibly could happen, but I wasn't specifically clocking, as if you've seen the how we finding out we're pregnant or whatever video, you'll see I was excited, but I was taken aback a little bit. So but we are always of the notion that a baby is a blessing from the Lord.
Definitely
so it was all good, and I can't wait for them to join the gang. You're right.
Sorry guys, I'm gonna have to just have a quick water break. I'll be back in 2 secs. Okay,
cool. All right,
okay, cool.
Next one.
So I'm gonna answer.
Oh, sorry, babe, go on.
I'm gonna answer.
Give your answer.
So when I first found out, again, like, I don't want to say I was shocked, I was surprised. I knew it could happen because we weren't planning it, but we weren't planning against it. So I knew it was likely that it could happen, and I just didn't really realise, because I wasn't like keeping specific dates and all that. I just was like, whoa, okay, because I think I'd actually taken a pregnancy test a few days before that had come up negative, or maybe a week earlier that had come up negative, and because I still hadn't come on, I was like, let's take another one. And I really wasn't expecting it to be positive, because like some months before, or maybe on a previous pregnancy, I think I'd even been quite late, but I still wasn't pregnant. So yeah, I was just a bit like, wow, okay, wow, here we go again. Like, but it's, yeah, I was excited. A child is a blessing, like, whether you're expecting it or not, like, it's a blessing. So I was just excited, really. And then I was a bit like, oh gosh, morning sickness. Oh gosh, labour. Okay, it's gonna happen. Okay, moving on.
That it is.
Question number 7. Someone said to us,
so someone said, you're used to having kids around all the time. Sorry, I totally hijacked that.
Sorry?
You're used to having kids around all the time, but what might be the most difficult thing to cope with when the new baby arrives? Babe, what do you think?
Okay, so for me, our house is full of children and I love it. So adding another one to the bunch of kids we have already, it's not like, oh my gosh, there's another child, what are we going to do, how are we going to cope? It's no panic. I think the main thing for me is I really want to conquer being able to get out of the house smoothly and on time, and I think when you have a new baby, that kind of just adds things to the mix to make that a bit more difficult, because I remember in previous times, for example, I usually end up with a baby in nappy and a toddler in nappies. So what tends to happen is you're ready to go out the door, then the baby poos, and then you realise, oh gosh, the toddler's pooed as well. Got to change more nappies. That adds another 15-20 minutes. Oh, the baby's one's gone up the back. So things like that I think are harder.
Oh yeah, the up the back poos.
Yeah, up the back all the way to the head sometimes.
Bath, got to totally change.
Exactly. So I think for me that's the hardest thing that the new baby brings. But other than that, nothing but love.
Yeah, I'd agree. Number 8.
Okay, another person asked us, your home seems very cozy, but with the family growing, are you guys considering moving out to a bigger place soon?
Now, if you don't mind, I'll take this one. So, guys, I think this is something that is quite close to my heart, because I hear all the time, a baby is an expense. In our family, we've never really ever looked at that. God has always provided some which way. Now, if money grew on trees and we were balling, which we're not, we would, you know, obviously you do what ideally suits the situation whenever the situation changes. However, we're not in a small house, we're not in a massive house, we're in a house that suits us and works for what we need. So I would like to encourage those out there who begin to worry as soon as they hear a baby. Oh gosh, you know, rooms, size, bigger car, do you know what I mean? All these kind of things. Like, try not to. Try and think,
what can I do to make it work?
Right. Yeah. What can I do to make it work? Because you'll find you can be quite resourceful when you put your mind to it. And also it helps you if you're on that kind of a page, you know, with your partner or whatnot. It makes it less stressful, because I know money can be a stress, like it can, but you can see how the children we've got so far have worked out, you know, thus far, and it's nothing but love. So, you know, we're just looking forward to adding a child to that. And yes, our home at the moment could cope. In an ideal world, we'd have a 16-bedroom mansion with every single thing, a classroom and you know, I mean, everything, football pitch out back, you know, but it isn't that, at least not yet. So who knows what the future holds, but right now we're not thinking about that.
No, we're all good. Next question. Number 9. Out of all the children, who was your easiest / hardest pregnancy and birth? I would have to say my easiest pregnancy was Hezzy. Now at the time, if you'd asked me, it was my first experience of pregnancy, so I'd have been like, no, this is so hard. But now in hindsight, having more pregnancies, looking after children, being pregnant and looking after kids is always harder. So my first pregnancy was the easiest because I could sleep when I needed to, I could rest when I needed to.
My mum was really because we lived with my mum and dad at that time.
I didn't have to cook. Do you know what I mean? If I didn't need to, if my washing needed to be done and I really needed help, my mum would help me.
So thank you, Mum, for that,
thank you so much, Mum. So yeah, it was a lot easier. I mean, the morning sickness was still bad and it was a shock to my system. I remember feeling really sick all the time, but that hasn't really changed. So I would say Hezzy's was the easiest. I would say the hardest, pregnancy. See, in a minute, because I can't say this has definitely been the hardest, because so far I'm waiting for my morning sickness to get worse. Sorry, excuse me. I would say the worst was probably Hallie's, I think, because where I was pregnant with twins to start off with, my morning sickness, I think because of the pregnancy hormones, was so bad to the point that I actually was starting to, I think the doctor prescribed me some travel sickness pills, which I did take, I think a couple of days, and then threw up, so it didn't help at all. And I would never take them again. And this is obviously nothing to do with anything that's proven medically or anything, but Hallie was a twin, obviously, and that's the only pregnancy where I didn't miscarry, but the twin vanished. And I'm like, well, I took medication that pregnancy, so I don't know. But yeah, that I would say was the hardest one in terms of morning sickness. Let's start with easiest birth. I would say the easiest was Harper because it was the quickest. So I was at home cleaning in the daytime, and then by the time we ended up going to the hospital, We got there, parked, and she was out within half an hour. It was easiest in terms of the birth, but then afterwards it got a bit hard.
Because the placenta wouldn't
come out. But I don't really class that as the birth because she was out by then. My hardest birth, I always feel like the most painful one was Hosanna. But then again, the boys took the longest, so it's a bit hard really. They're all different, but yeah, that's what I'd say. Okie dokie, moving on to the next question. Number 10. Is it true that toddlers can sense the baby even before the mother does? And did you notice any strange behaviours from baby Rue? Okay, cool. I'm right to answer this one.
Go for it.
So I noticed when I was pregnant with Hosanna, I noticed Hezzy started coming and kissing my belly and stuff like that. So I felt like, yeah, he sensed it before I did. That's the only pregnancy I've noticed that with. With Hazariah, after I found out, I found that Hazariah wanted more of me kind of thing. He wanted to come and feed. He wanted to come and be with me a bit more. I don't know if that's because he senses anything, but yeah, but I haven't really noticed that much of a strange behaviour from him. But with Hosanna's pregnancy, Hezzy definitely, I think, sensed it before I did.
Hezzy senses a lot of things before you sense them.
Wise old Hezzy. Question number 11. Have all your pregnancies been similar or different in terms of symptoms and
things?
I
answer this?
You can.
They've been exactly the same. Every single one of them. As Ella said, the twins heightened it slightly, but other than that, like, only because I've heard Ella say so much times, like, people keep coming to me and saying, no, don't worry, maybe the next one will be different, and it's like,
change.
I don't think it is. I think my body's wired this way, and this is how it's gonna go.
Yep, and so far, yeah, it's been the same for every single one. Yay.
So,
moving on. Question number 12. How did you tell the children that you were pregnant and that they are going to have another brother or sister? You can answer that one, babes.
Well, if you would like to see that, then the link will be either up here or up there somewhere. And we've got a Telling the Kids video, so go check that out.
Wonderful. Question number 13. Does the labour get easier with each child? No, it doesn't. It just depends, like, what that baby decides it's going to do. So, like I said, I think my easiest labour was Harper up until after she came out. Yeah, but it doesn't get easier. No, Hazariah's was quite long. I was expecting him to be quick, but the boys seemed comfortable. So it was
Harper
a long
was
thing.
in a rush, surprise.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. Question number 14. What possible names are there for the Grimwade boy or girl?
And I'm afraid that's another one we just gonna have to wait and find out.
There you go. We're keeping our lips tightly sealed. Number 15. Was this pregnancy planned, and do you want more children beyond 6? Okay, cool. So I would say that I've answered it a little bit, but I would say it wasn't planned. So in myself and Tim's plans of life, we decided that we wanted to have 6 children from the get-go.
Before we had any.
Yeah, that's before we had any. We decided we wanted to have 6 children. And even though we say we felt complete after having Hazariah, there was a little niggly thing in the back of our mind that we haven't quite reached the mark, and we like to achieve the goals that we set for ourselves in life. I'm saying it wasn't planned because with some of the others we've had a kind of conversation, oh, we want to have another child, let's start trying. We didn't really have that conversation. We was just enjoying each other, innit, babes?
Yeah, it was, man. I tell you, it's the promised land.
Yeah, so it came as a surprise in terms of the timing of it, but we knew it was very likely that it could happen. Do we want to have any more beyond 6?
You know what? I just feel bad. No, we technically said we'd have 6, so technically mission accomplished, right? But I just don't like saying you wouldn't want another child.
Because if we say yes, then everybody's going to be like, when's the next one? When's the next one? Not that you can't, but yeah. No. And if we say no, and then another one comes, we'll be like, but you said you didn't want any more kids. I'm not going to turn around and say, I don't want this one.
Absolutely. We've considered vasectomies and all of these kind of things, but it's talking. We're chatting it through as a couple.
We're not fully yet decided on.
And no, we haven't.
hope
So that didn't help at all.
Okay, question number 16. What do you usually eat during pregnancy? And then the person went on to say that some mums eat a straight vegan diet during pregnancy to help them have a successful pregnancy. So what do I eat during pregnancy to help me have a successful one? Basically, ladies who are pregnant, I feel like there can be a lot of pressures on you to make sure your pregnancy goes well. Okay, well, I trust the Lord that my pregnancy is going to go well. Women have been having babies from the beginning of time without having any direct, directions and advice as to you should eat that, you shouldn't eat that, you should. Do you know what I mean?
Without healthcare, without anything.
God created our bodies to be able to create life. So everything that is needed within us is here to be able to do that. Of course, I would say that just in the same way you treat your body, you don't want to go and eat McDonald's every single day when you're pregnant, because you wouldn't want to do that to yourself, because it's not the healthiest option. But there might be some days when that's all you want to have, so have it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the same time, for example, one of my pregnancies, I was a bit anemic. I was given some iron tablets, but they didn't agree with me. So therefore, I combated it with the red meat, because that's what I was craving anyway. Lots of leafy vegetables. I was even having them at breakfast time, having them with each meal, just having them just to eat. Just to try and really boost up my iron levels, and that really helps. So I would say, for example, if being a vegan works for you generally, then yeah, go for it. But don't think, okay, I have to do this because this is going to make me have a successful pregnancy. No, listen to your body. I would say that's the best thing to do, and just kind of go with that. Try and stay healthy, drink lots of water, but you're supposed to in general anyway. So there you go. Question number 17. This is nice. Someone said, you are so inspirational, Ella. How do you maintain your energy being pregnant and having a large family to look after? You make it look so ezy.
She's Superwoman. Don't tell anyone.
I'm not. I thought he was going to go, she's super moody off camera. No,
she's not. She's honestly
I
not.
always feel
everyone has their times, but
yeah, everyone has their times, and people always come to me when I'm pregnant, say, oh my gosh, you're a great advert for pregnancy, you make pregnancy look so amazing. And I'm like, do I? Wow, I don't feel like I do. I feel like I am like this in my moods up and down. But maybe I'm not. Hey, these guys live with me, so they're the best ones to testify as to what the truth is.
And also, we've got a network.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say.
Sorry,
it's fine. You can talk as well.
So good.
We try to focus on the fact that, look, it's a really good thing that's happening. And also, we've got people that come around us and help us celebrate that it's a really good thing happening. So whether that means our mums are going to come down and help out with the other children. My mum often will come and help take away laundry to her house to do for me, and come and help clean up and tidy and just stuff like that. And I've noticed already, I think, in this pregnancy, I'm feeling a bit better than I have before, because I've taken more time to rest. So even Sunday afternoon I was doing a roast dinner, but in between times I was sitting down. Hosanna was helping out, Hallie was helping out, the boys were doing their part.
As you'll see if you're on our Insta.
Yeah, if you're on our Instagram, you'll see it on our stories. It's really teamwork makes the dream work. 100%. So we're all looking forward to the new life that's going to be in our family. We'll work together to try and make it a nice journey
100%
to get in there. So
I thought you wanted to kiss me then.
Oh, I do. That wasn't forced, was it? Number 18, right.
I'll take it.
What kind of birth are you looking into having? Home birth, hospital birth, or water birth, etc.?
This is an interesting one, because we are considering a home birth, because we've never done that.
We've never done it before, and in the past I've been a bit like, oh, it's going to be so messy, blah, 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 blah. The main thing for me is that I've never done a pregnancy without what's called gas and air, but I think the actual name for it is Entinox or something. I'm not sure, but it's like the gas that you take whilst you're pregnant to help. Whilst you're in labour, to help with the pains. It doesn't actually get to take the pain away, it just helps you relax more, really.
Just makes you go a little doolally.
And I kind of look forward to that point, because it kind of removes me out of the situation a bit. But I've heard that you can have it at home, but I'm not sure. With the previous labour, because with Hazariah's labour, they said I had to come into hospital because of what happened with the, delivering the placenta in Harper's birth. But I think, seeing as my previous labour with Hazariah went fine, they'll probably let me have a home birth. I haven't had a water birth since Hosanna. I've wanted to have a water birth with every single labour, but it's just been down to Harper came too quick, the pool wasn't ready with Hallie. Hazariah, I can't remember what happened, it just didn't happen.
Technical hitches.
Oh, I had to be monitored because his heart rate had gone down. So yeah, if I have a home birth, I doubt it will be a water birth, just because it's long to get the pool and blah blah blah. Number 19. Have all of your pregnancies been to term, or have some come early or some come late? I can give you a very concise answer.
Here we go.
Hezi and Hosanna were both 3 days early. Hallie came 4 days late. Harper came on her due date and Hazariah was about 5 days late. So yeah,
there you go.
That's what happened. Question number 20. How many kids did you guys originally plan, if you had a plan?
I think we've answered that already, but it was 6.
There you go. Question number 21. Will you guys buy a bigger car or travel in 2 cars?
Again, with the financial questions, we will do what we can to maybe upgrade if we can, but if we can't, we will make it work.
Yeah, basically.
We have 2 cars at the moment, but we usually travel together in the one. We try and do everything together if we can, but obviously sometimes things split, you know, Hezzy's football, girls cheerleading, whatever. But yeah, if we can, we'll probably upgrade to a 9-seater something. But if we can't, we shall make it work.
Yeah. Question number 22. Do you think you will find out the gender? Do we think we'll find out the gender?
I don't think we will on this one because we've done it all. This is the beauty of having, you know, numerous pregnancies. You get to try different things, and we started with Hezzy on our first, not knowing, and if this is our final pregnancy, then it kind of makes sense to end the journey how we started. So yeah, so that's what we're thinking of doing anyway, but it could be, it's all subject to change. Yeah,
it could change. Question number 23. How do you push through the difficult times without getting frustrated, irritable and snappy with each other?
Well, I don't mind, just tell it real.
Okay, we do get irritable and snappy with each other.
We did just this morning.
Yeah, exactly. We did just this morning, but I think the main thing is, well, from my point of view, I think you always have to just remember, look, there's a lot of stresses. I'm being really sick. Tim has obviously got a lot of stresses trying to look after me and keep the whole ship running in order. Yeah, and obviously there's just general stresses of life, do you know what I mean?
Man.
So
ain't nothing wrong with not arguing.
No, you just got to get through it. And I was going to say, not hang on to each other's petty words when you're, you know, at the height of your frustrations. Just let it go.
Absolutely. It doesn't help to hold on to, you know, all the silly isms and schisms that come with an argument, because really and truly it's both of you being frustrated at trying to get somewhere together, but you've just come a cropper a bit, like, do you know what I mean? You've got your wires you got your wires crossed, and that's it. But I think, like Dad said in the interview you did with Dad, that as long as there is tension either side of the rope, so as long as you're holding onto that rope together, yes, there will sometimes be tension, but you need 2 sides committing to the same goal to get that tension. Otherwise, if someone lets go and says, look, I'm not in it, well then you don't have a relationship. But we do, and so those things, and those things can also be an encouragement to let you know you're both still trying to push for the same goal. Precisely.
All right, question number 24. Do you have any weird cravings? So I kind of answered this before, but there's one thing that I forgot to say. So a few days ago, what I wanted was like bread with marmalade, cheese and olives.
Mad.
That's what I was fancying. So yeah, cool. I don't know, that's not what you usually have on a normal day, is it? So hey, it's a weird craving. And then question
unless you do, of course, put it in the comment section below.
Yeah, let us know if that's your norm, then hey. Question number 25. How do you manage to keep the intimacy still with having 5 children? Go through, babes.
Can I? Oh, it's a kids program. So
such an idiot.
At the end of the day, you've got to take the time when and where you can find it. But also, we are quite fortunate in that our children have been excellent sleepers since they all came home. Literally, they've slept through. We have been blessed in that. With the morning sickness, Ella hasn't been so blessed with that, but she has been blessed with children that have come and slept through the night. And to be honest, I think even Ella would take that over. Yeah, definitely. So we've not been the parents that turn around and go like, oh my gosh, the sleepless nights is terrible. Like, of course, if the
children are sick, that's a different story. But yeah, just generally they've slept well, so we try to make obviously the most of our evenings, but also just having a good routine with the children's bedtimes. So if it was down to me, like, I'll be honest with you, their bedtimes would not be so great. It would be like, okay, it's supposed to be 7:30, but really it's 9 o'clock. But Tim definitely really values the time that we get together. We 100%. Both do, but he's better at enforcing that the children need to be getting ready from 6:30 if they need to be asleep in bed by 7:30. You know, because things take time. Things always come up. Mummy, I need to water. I got to go toilet. All this sort of stuff. So yeah, having that routine and working together on it, and for example, mummy not being downstairs ready for daddy to come down by himself, and he comes down with a child saying, oh, they were so cute and they just wanted a hug, and or vice versa. Do you know what I mean? Like me being supposed to be going upstairs to just settle another child down, and then half an hour later I'm still sat up here chatting with them or reading them a story. Like, you just got to work together and communicate well. And because you got to remember, sorry, no, go on, what did you say? No, I was going to say we've got a great network of people around us.
100%.
So that means we can say, Mum, look, can you have the kids for the night, or come and sit with them while we go on a date together, which we fully enjoy.
100%.
Yeah, sorry, you was going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, and it's important you do take that time, because I think this was a great question, but I think it's so important that you do take time for your relationship, because this whole collective, the Grimwade family, came out of that original me and Ella. Do you know what I mean? And so you can't ever disrespect that and let other things come in front of that. Otherwise you will find it falls down the pecking order, and it's no longer important, not only to other people but to you two as well. And then you find problems later on. Do you know what I mean? Because they're going to go at some point. Do you know what I mean? They're going to grow up and go, and as hard as that will be, I still want to have, you know, a wonderful relationship with my wife,
and know who it is that I'm still married to.
Exactly. You can lose each other in parenting. It's not a joke. So all those out there, do take time for each other.
Yes.
However you can.
Precisely. And with all that being said, guys, thank you so much for all those questions. I think that was all fantastic. And if you don't follow us on Instagram yet already,
please do,
because there's a whole lot going on there. So if you don't follow us, you're missing out. So go follow us now.
At the Grimwade Family. And guys, if you ain't part of that notification gang, then do the dang thing and hit that bell. Guys, we've been 2 nearly 8ths now, if it's one baby, of the Grimwade family. And we love y'all, and we'll see you real soon.
So you think you were right? Bring it on, boom.